Are you ready to explore yourself? Let's start. In this episode, we will talk about adjustment disorders. Unlike any other podcast, we will have 4 points of views in this episode. But first, let's know a little bit about adjustment disorders. As teenagers, life often throws challenges in our way, whether it's a big transition, unexpected changes, or those moments where everything feels just a little too overwhelming. These struggles aren't just a part of growing up, they can deeply affect our mental health. You may be wondering, why does adjustment disorder happen? Adjustment disorder happen when a major change or a stressful event make it hard to cope, leaving us anxious, sad, or even lost. It's something that can affect anyone, especially during those defining moments of life. It may be caused because of many different reasons, like moving to a new country, new home, new community, or changing schools, or experiencing the divorce of parents, or the birth of a new sibling, or death of a beloved one, or even a pet. All these can drastically affect and challenge our ability to function. You may be asking, how can I know if I have adjustment disorder? There are four types of symptoms: behavioral symptoms, physical symptoms, cognitive symptoms, and lastly, psychological symptoms. Behavioral symptoms include self harming, no longer participating in activities that we used to enjoy, or isolating ourselves from family and friends. And lastly, failing to attend school, which will lead to a drop in the grades. The physical symptoms can include sleep disturbance, constant headaches, muscle tension, which can be in shape of cramps, or chest pains. Cognitive symptoms can be in a shape of poor decision making skills, poor concentration, or memory disturbance. And lastly, psychological symptoms, which can be in the shape of feeling nervous, feeling hopeless, or feeling anxiety, which is probably because of a trauma. Or it can be in a shape of instability, or sadly, it can be in a shape of depressed feelings. To explore this, I've invited four of my colleagues to share their experience. They each faced unique challenges: adjusting to a new school as an introvert, coping with the loss of beloved pet, or dealing with academic uncertainty. And lastly, we will have a colleague to talk about her experience with moving to completely new countries with completely new cultures. We will hear their stories, talk about what adjustment disorder looks like, and share strategies for navigating these changes. Whether you felt similar struggles or just want to understand more, this episode is for you. So now we're with one of my colleagues to share her experience moving to a new school, especially as an introvert. Hi.
Hi.
So can you tell us more about your personal experience with moving to a new school?
It was really hard for me, especially since I've been in my old school for 11 years.
Wow, that's a
But,
lot.
uh, but it's been like, it was my second family, my second home. So it was really hard getting out of it. And then getting into this new place with new people who knew everything. It was really hard. And
So what are the challenges that you faced during the new school, especially that I know that the school is much bigger than your
mm,
last school. So what are the challenges like?
um, I had this crippling anxiety every single day before I went to school. It was really bad. I would cry at home and I would I remember the first 3 days were really I mean, the first 3 days I don't really remember it, but I remember on the third day I was in the biology lesson and I was just thinking about how I'm going to go to my parents and I'm going to beg them to take me out of the school and
Oh,
put me back.
wow, this was just like the first day, not the first term.
Yes, like the first week.
Wow.
It was really hard. And also, making friends was really difficult for me. Not because people didn't want to get to know me, it's just I had difficulty opening up and socializing since I didn't need to do that in my old school.
This was basically your second home.
Oh, exactly.
What are the strategies that like helped you to adjust to the new school and your new life, new friends, new everything basically?
Um, First of all, I trusted in myself, or I trusted in God. It was really, really difficult for me. Honestly, I don't really remember anything from last year.
Wow.
It was kind of, if I try to remember how I lived every single day, what I did, I don't remember anything at all, just blank.
Wow, that's so tough.
I lived in my own head last year so much that I don't remember
You're
anything.
such an introvert, I remember.
I was really quiet, and I'm
Yeah.
still quiet, but
But you got kind of used to it.
oh
Especially that, يعني, as I discussed in an earlier episode, social anxiety plays a main role in our minds as teenagers.
mm,
So I believe that you also struggled with a little bit of social anxiety.
I think so too. Yeah,
So I'm glad that you passed with all of this.
me too.
So did you seek support from your colleagues, your teachers? Did you practice mindful thinking or thoughts or relaxation? Tell us more how you coped with this years. I know it was very hard, but I mean, try to remember.
Okay. I focused on my education and my studying and homework because I knew that's what I'm supposed to do. And in the meantime, I try to think positive thoughts every single day.
Actually, something that a lot of people don't focus on, that new school is new people, new life, new everything, but it's probably also a new educational system, which is usually hard to adjust to.
Yeah.
But it's not only about social life; it's also about educational life. So honestly, it's like a tough period of time.
Yeah.
So like,
And yeah, like I was saying, positive thoughts. I try to think of all the good that's in my life to make myself feel better and to know that I'm in a good place for school.
did you try talking with any teachers, counselors, anything, or did you think that if you did, like, did it help?
Yeah, I think so. But with the teachers, they kind of knew that I was a bit shy. I was a bit shy, and I didn't really know how to open up to them. But they did help me. They asked me how I was. And with the counselor, I was scared to go. I only went the
Yeah.
last 2 weeks of the end of the school year.
Wow. Yeah, actually, guys, like a lot of people think like it's so easy to go to with a counselor or a teacher, but it's not. It's tough. It's awkward. It's everything. Yes. Okay, so thank you for sharing with us your experience. I'm glad that you have a better experience in school, and I hope other teenagers know very well that a new school is not an easy thing. It's totally a new life, and it's probably a new curriculum. So we just have to wait and have faith that everything will go better.
Yes.
So now I'm with one of my classmates to tell us more about his journey with losing his beloved pets. Hi.
Hi. So
Can you tell us more about your journey with losing your pets?
I had 7 different dogs, not at the
Wow.
same time. Uh, some died of sickness, and others died of poison. So, like my first pet, his name was Leo. He was a golden retriever. He was really sick. We took him out like for we when we went to Sahel, and he died by poison of the neighbors. They kept
How long did you have him?
for around 5 to 6 years.
Wow, that's a lot.
He was a very good pet, and I miss him so much. Obviously, as one of my favorite dogs. Because
So can you tell us more about how it affected you in the moments that you were sad or you missed him or you felt like life was not going the same without him?
uh, I had him in my old house. Now I live near the school. So when I went to and my old house was in Aguza. So when every time I go there, I remember him because he did a stunt on my sister. One time I learned him how to open and close the door.
Oh, that's cute. So you lived together for a long time.
Yeah.
5 6 years alone.
So once my mom and my dad were sleeping, and my brother was sleeping too. It was only me and my sister awake. My sister went poured cornflakes for her, and I'm drinking water. So my dog opened the door because he heard her. He opened the door and ran after her, and she got scared and dropped everything.
Ouch. So you actually, it was a part of your daily life.
Yeah.
So how did you like manage to overcome these feelings of grief and all that?
At first, I couldn't. I just kept getting new dogs until my recent one called Cheetos died.
Okay, so you're trying to replace your dogs, but
We tried, but
Leo, but
we
eventually
couldn't.
didn't.
We couldn't. So what I did now, every time I think about him, I go do anything to remove my mind about him or think what we did together and like that. So that's what removed my
Okay,
remove.
so you either distress your feelings or
Yeah,
you go back through your memories, which is actually so hurtful. Don't do this.
yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we're one of my colleagues to share her experience with academic uncertainty, as it's such a stressful topic that stresses a lot of us as teenagers. Hi. Hi. Can you tell us more about the challenges that faced you regarding your academic uncertainty, as you're not really sure what you want to do in future and we're in kind of grade 10, so it kind and we have to pick our subjects soon. So can you tell us more about the challenges that you faced?
Even though I know what I want to do academically in the future and which path I would like to go for, well, I still have a lot of doubt about it and uncertainty. And there's like moments where you doubt everything, and you're like, you're not sure if you actually want to go for it, and you think, what if I actually end up choosing a different path, or like you get questions about in your mind, like, wait, because you don't know what's the perfect decision, and you're
Yeah,
so
no one knows.
pressured. Oh, it's like you're so pressured to choose the perfect decision because yeah, it determines your whole future.
Yeah. Actually, especially that we have to choose like our subject in like a few months. So it's so stressful. Like I personally had a major in my mind. Then I decided like I don't want this major. What else do you want? I have no idea.
Exactly, that's so much pressure because you don't know what like subjects are the right choices. Because
Yeah.
I do have an idea, but I always have like in my mind like uncertainty, like what happens if I end up, what if I'm not as passionate as I thought about?
Yeah.
Yeah, what if everything
Especially,
changes?
especially if you dig deeper in the topic, then you find like, oh, I don't like this topic, but as you want, I don't know. I feel so stressed. I feel so lost.
Exactly.
Well, guess what? Everyone is lost. عشان most teenagers think that they're lost alone وخلاص بقى at the end of the week. بس عادي.
Oh,
So, can you tell us more about how? Do you have anything else to say?
because it's like okay, it's like a constant thought or battle in your head between making sure of your decision or wondering if you overlooked like something else, like you could have chosen something else in the future. Like you start thinking, oh, I wish I chose another path, or I'm missing out on something different and maybe even better. But it's like because you don't know if it's like for me example, I'm interested in something, but then I'm also interested in something else. But if I choose this
Yeah.
thing,
So stressful, but
oh,
can you
and I'm
keep
like, what
overthinking
if?
it at night?
Oh,
Wow.
exactly.
Do you have like any tips for other teenagers to overcome this challenge, or you did overcome it yourself also?
Honestly, I'm still in between.
You're still figuring it out.
Because honestly, you have to not be like you have to set realistic goals for
Yes.
yourself. You can't expect too much. When
Yeah, you
you're
can't
still
expect to
unsure.
be in Harvard when your grades are not good. فاني هو please set realistic expectations guys.
Exactly.
It's not مش ناقصة حاجة mental issues.
And also, if you maybe you should talk to someone to help you like set your goals and be more organized.
Actually, there are a couple of companies that I did reach out for. Like Educately, they help you guide you كده لو you may also discover a new different major that blends between your interests.
Exactly.
Yeah. So do you have anything else to say?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So now we're with one of my colleagues that actually moved to several new countries. So she's gonna share with us her journey, how she dealt with the challenges that she faced, and many other interesting things. Hi.
Hi.
So can you tell us more about your journey of moving through different countries?
Okay, so basically, I was born in Libya, so I like didn't see Sudan when I was born.
Okay. But your nationality is Sudanese.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I'm fully Sudanese, like no like thingies in there. But so I was born in Libya and I stayed there until I was like 3 kilo, and then I went to Sudan and I stayed there for a year, and then they transferred my family to Bulgaria because they opened an embassy there. So
Oh, guys, her family, her parents are diplomats, so it's actually so interesting.
yeah.
Continue.
My dad was transferred there, so my mom took like a vacation period so she could stay at like home and like help around and stuff. So yeah, basically I lived there until I was 8, and then we closed the embassy there,
Okay.
and then we moved back to Sudan, and I stayed there for like 2 years, and then I came in Egypt here.
Wow, so there's actually extreme culture changes from Europe to Africa to like many many new things, which is actually so interesting. So can you tell us more about the challenges that you faced through different cultures, language barriers, and forming new social circles?
Okay, I would say in Libya because I was like a child, so I don't really remember anything.
Okay.
But my mom told me that I would come every day with like a new language, and I'd say because
Wow.
yeah, my kindergarten it was international,
Okay.
so like there were kids from like all over. So I'd like come home and I'd like confuse her because I'd be like saying Turkish stuff, and she'd be like, "What are you saying? Like communicate," and I couldn't communicate well. So like that was her problem. I was still a child, so that's not really on me. But yeah.
So you were even struggling to communicate with your parents due to the extreme culture changes that you faced?
Yeah. Luckily, my parents they both know English because they studied it in university, so I can like talk Arabic and English with them. They don't mind.
Actually, although she lives here in Egypt, I never heard her talking Arabic once. Due to like, guys, these are extreme culture changes, and honestly, I won't handle it. So regarding the different cultures, to be specific, in all the languages, can you tell us more the change from the Bulgarian culture to the Sudanese to the Egyptian? I think Sudan and Egypt are kind of similar,
They
but
are.
the shift from Bulgaria to Sudan is actually so hard. Like teenagers struggle with adapting to these changes. So
So when we moved back to Sudan, I was 8, but I had like built like a good home, type of like place in back in
okay.
Bulgaria. So I felt really out of place when I went to Sudan
Oh,
because I didn't know how to speak Arabic well because I didn't study it in my old school, but it was a Lebanese school. But I didn't take Arabic because I
okay.
couldn't. Well, I took it, but like at a low level, because I was also taking Bulgarian at the same time.
Oh,
So like the Bulgarian was like overpowering the Arabic and everything.
so you were even struggling with education.
Yeah, literally. But besides like the Arabic, I'd say like Bulgaria, everything is like different there. Like the norms and everything, like the way they dress is also different.
Dressing actually like from different countries, like I have other international students, they're struggling to adapt to the new style of Egypt or the way that we dress because they're not used to it.
Yeah, like the way they dress there, it's very open, like shorts,
Yeah.
like shirts, like cut shirts and everything, bikinis and like the beach. So like my family, like my dad, he's very protective. He
Yeah.
didn't want me dressing like that, so I would always feel like out of place when I wear like
He's a,
long
mi- hi-
sleeve and everything.
he's a Middle Eastern dad after all.
Yeah, so I didn't like it very much, but I'm used to it now, so I don't really mind. I prefer it now, honestly.
Okay. So can you tell us how you dealt with these challenges, like adapting to new things? Of course, you felt so uncomfortable doing these things.
Yeah, I felt uncomfortable mostly in like my friends because it was really complicated. Like my friend group was so
Wow.
complicated. I had a best friend, and actually I'm still in touch with her.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, we got reconnected this summer, so it was really like reminiscing and stuff. But besides that, everyone was from like a different place. Also bullying. I had a bully, guys, and
Of course.
it was you know, my mom said it affected me, but I don't think it did, honestly, because the bully, she would just like steal my stuff and everything. Like, she didn't bully me verbally, but actually, there was a teacher that hated me,
Oh,
and she like
there's actually,
racist.
yeah, racism. I was just going to mention that. Sadly, yani, of course, you faced a lot of racism through the different countries that you went through. So, how did you deal with it mostly?
Oh, actually, a story once.
Yeah.
Me and my family, and like, cause we had like a community of like Sudanese families, like 2 or 3. So we
Okay.
were all like close and stuff, like our like kids and everything, like the children and stuff. We were all close with them. So basically, one time we went to like the mountain area, and there was like a playground next to like the hotel. So we went there, and then like a few seconds later, like these like 2 moms came and they called the cops on us.
No,
Yeah,
this actually happens.
yeah,
Like
it actually happened.
I see it in like movies and stuff. I never imagined that it happens in real world.
It happened. Like I was literally like swinging,
Wow.
and like they came and the cops came.
Guys, Netflix episodes are real. They're not imaginary. They're inspired by real life things.
Like the cops came, and I think they filed like a lawsuit. I don't really know
Wow.
how or why, but obviously like we won because they were being racist.
Yeah.
But I would say I didn't really wasn't aware of what was happening, so I was like, oh, cops, and then I just went back home. I went back to like the hotel, and I just went on my laptop, and I was fine. But it affected like the parents a lot because they felt like
course.
targeted and stuff.
And of course, they were scared for you and you. They were scared that you're going to have a tough future.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you ever tried to talk with someone, counselor, therapy, parents, family, anything that you think helped with these challenges?
I used to talk to my mom a lot, and I still talk with her sometimes.
Guys, always go to your parents. It's so it's very effective. Trust me. I used to avoid my parents actually, but now it's so useful and so effective.
My mom used to like comfort me and say like it's fine, like especially when we were like in the moving stages, she'd be like, "You'll have friends all over the world and
Yeah.
everything."
She actually told me this in the message that I got her confirmation to do this podcast with you. She was like, I know that she had a hard journey, but I'm sure that she has a great experience from all over the countries that she went to.
I would say my experience in Sudan was very different in Bulgaria because in Bulgaria I actually had friends. In Sudan, I would say they used me and they bullied me.
Wow,
A
although this
lot.
is your like home country, this is your nationality.
I know, and
This is how life goes.
I swear, like they bullied me in like a way. They would leave me out of their group. They'd go to group hangouts. I wasn't invited, and like everything, and they just would ignore me sometimes in class. So yeah.
Okay, so actually we're done. Do you want to say anything else?
I would say that don't be like scared if you came into like a new environment and stuff, because there's like good people out there, and there's like open people like Malag and like a lot of people. So you know, and have faith and like keep like the mindset that it'll all like turn out
It
good
will,
in the
it,
end.
will, it will pass. And actually, you're gonna see like, wow, I've passed through all of this. Actually, guys, mental health is a long journey, but when you pass with it, you feel so relieved and you feel so proud of what you did. Okay, thank you.
No problem.